How y'all doing?
Hey guys, so this is gonna be a bit of an ASMR. I've got my tea. Well, that sounded disgusting. Hey guys, and welcome to my channel. Before I say anything, well, first of all, my real voice is back. And second of all, I want to give a massive thank you for 1,000 subscribers. I know it sounds really cliche, but when I first started my channel, I never imagined that I would reach this milestone. So I really appreciate the support, and I hope I can continue to make content that you guys enjoy. Anyway, people seem to be really enjoying these kind of videos, so I thought, why not make yet another video that will get me labelled as problematic? So yeah, I've gathered some more of my personal unpopular K-pop opinions to share with you guys because originality, don't know her. As always, a big fat disclaimer, this video is just what it is titled as, an opinion video. I'm aware that my opinions are not facts, and this video was not made with the intention to be offensive or hateful in any way. This is for entertainment purposes only and isn't to be taken too seriously, so if you disagree with me, then that is completely fine. At the end of the day, I'm just another irrelevant, unoriginal K-pop YouTuber, so don't waste your time getting heated over my opinions. Also, I'm not sure if every single one of these opinions are unpopular, but I try to make them as interesting and non-repetitive as possible, so hopefully you enjoy this regardless. Anyway, without further ado, let's get into it. I always see opinions where people say things like, replaying songs over and over until they grow on you is just forcing yourself to like them. And I'll admit that in some aspects that is very true, but at the same time I don't really see what the big issue with this is. For example, when Twice first released More and More, I was a bit disappointed, to be honest, and I wasn't really a big fan of the song, but I really wanted to like it because Twice are one of my alts, so I listened to it over and over again, and eventually it did grow on me, and now I actually love the song and the fresh vibe to it. Was I kind of forcing myself to like it? Maybe, but do I regret it? No, because the end result was positive. If you're someone who doesn't want to force yourself to like a song, that's completely fine, and you shouldn't make yourself eat up everything your faves release. But if someone wants to like a song and listening to it repeatedly is the way for them to do that, then I don't really understand what the big problem is. At the end of the day, it's not really hurting anyone. Obviously, I'm not part of every single K-pop fandom in existence, so I don't fully know if this is true, but of all the 12 groups that I stan, I know 12 isn't that many, but anyway, the Orbit fandom is the most fun to be a part of by far. Yes, there are definitely a lot of bad apples in this fandom who are toxic and use really disrespectful ways to promote Luna, such as commenting stuff like maybe if they stand Luna under literal posts about people dying. That's just disgusting. I don't stand by that kind of behavior whatsoever. And yes, some Orbits can be really annoying and arrogant, but honestly, I've never been part of a more chaotic fandom than Luna's, and I'm kind of living for it. It seems like every day there's some like fake beef going on between a member of Luna and a celebrity. That's just been fabricated by a bored fan, but somehow makes it into mainstream news reports. Some Orbits can be really dumb and practically insane, and while some of the things that happen within the fandom could come across as problematic, It is definitely very entertaining to sit back and watch as things unfold. In my head, there's always been this internal battle as to whether Bad Boy or Peekaboo or Umpah Umpah is Red Velvet's best music video, but I think I've finally come to the conclusion that Umpah Umpah is their best. Don't get me wrong, the whole aesthetic of Bad Boy is stunning. The music video of Peekaboo is equally good, like the whole storyline is just amazing. But Umpah Umpah has such a cute charm to it. I love all the sets, and it has the ability to be fun and colourful while simultaneously having some really beautiful and ethereal shots. To be honest, I feel like Umpah Umpah as an entire era is underappreciated. This isn't really an unpopular opinion, but more an observation that I've made. I noticed that when an idol does anything, K-pop stans make such a big deal out of it. For example, an idol will literally just sneeze and people will be like, "Oh my god, hilarious, they're so chaotic." Comedians left jobless. And I'm just like, they sneezed though. Or an idol will just say to another one like, "You're short, lol," and people will be like,
"Oh, what a savage, such an epic roast, shots fired."
And I'm like, I'm not going to rain on anyone's parade. If they want to fangirl or fanboy over every little thing that their idols do, then it's fine, live your life. It's not hurting anyone, and I'm not going to tell you that you can't do that. I just think it's quite funny. But there is a side to this over-exaggeration that could be seen as very problematic. Back in 2018, Nancy from Momoland was noticed looking at Blackpink with a straight face, and people immediately started attacking her for it, calling her rude and assuming that she hates Blackpink, and they just blew this tiny incident that wasn't even a big deal into this big thing, and Nancy ended up receiving so much hate for it. And even though I'm a Blink myself and I don't even stan Momoland, I think the whole thing was pretty ridiculous because Nancy literally didn't even do anything wrong. Like, people were saying things like, "Oh, she should apologize," and I'm like, for what? For not smiling 24/7? Like, I don't understand. Another aspect in which this over-exaggeration is a problem is in shipping. Although I'm not a shipper myself, I think it's fine if done in moderation and if people are low-key about it. But when people start blowing up every tiny interaction between idols, they just come across as delusional and stupid. Like, two idols will look at each other for 0.2 seconds, having never had any other interactions, and people would be like, "Oh, they're making it so obvious that they're dating." And I'm like, what? They just looked at each other. Like, I'm sure you've looked at people in your life. That doesn't mean you're dating. Like, people have to remember that these are real human beings at the end of the day, so you can't just ship them together to that extent like they're just characters in a video game. Some fans complain about idols being quote unquote held back and suppressed from expressing their expressing their emotions at award shows and stuff. They talk about how, they're not allowed to, react to performances. But I think one of the major reasons as to why they do this is because the public and fans monitor them so closely and always make a mountain out of a molehill at the slightest thing that these idols do. Imagine having to watch and be cautious about every tiny thing you do for the fear that you might get cancelled for it. Forget the Bermuda Triangle, the biggest unsolved mystery is why so many people dislike Oh My God. Like, I'm literally so confused. I get that people have different tastes and stuff, and I'm not saying you have to like it, but it is genuinely such a good song. I literally love every single part of it, and while some parts sound a lot like Lion, for example Shuha's part, that literally sounds like a carbon copy of Lion. I'm not going to sugarcoat that, but overall the song sounds really unique and experimental to me, and it's just so good, and it baffles me as to why there are so many people who see it as a skip. The music video was also incredible. The only thing that I didn't like about Oh My God era was the choreography. It was executed really well, but overall it didn't seem to have any personality and would have looked empty had it not been for the background dancers. Nonetheless, I have no other complaints. I think it was a great era. Also, what did you guys think of (G)I-DLE's comeback with Dum Dee Dum Dee? I loved the music video and the overall concept, and the choreography was definitely a step up from Oh My God. But the song itself isn't really my cup of tea. It is starting to grow on me though, so hopefully that will change. When I first listened to Hwasa's Maria, I don't think I gave it a proper chance. I loved the chorus, but I didn't really listen to the rest of the song more than once for a while. But recently I've started to appreciate it way more and I actually love it now. I don't even know how to explain why, but like some songs are just bops, you know, you don't have to give an explanation, they're just bops. I guess one thing that I do prefer is that in Twit or Twite, I don't know how to say the name, I'm sorry, the instrumental kind of has the same loop throughout, but Maria's instrumental has more switch ups and overall sounds more creative and interesting to me. I like Twit or Twite as well, and it is definitely iconic, but for me personally it hasn't aged too well and sometimes it's a skip. I do understand why someone might prefer Twit or Twite to Maria, just for me personally it's the opposite. I see a lot of people saying that various reasons for unstanning a group are stupid, and whilst yes, some of them are, I genuinely don't think that people should have to give a reason for why they unstan certain groups. I'm not someone who's ever really felt the need to unstan a group, but if someone wants to unstan one, whether their reasoning is stupid or not is kind of irrelevant, because it's not anyone's place to be telling a person whether or not they're allowed to stop supporting a group. It's completely up to that person, and they shouldn't have to be writing long paragraphs to explain why. Like, I genuinely don't think it's anyone's place to be saying, oh, you can't stop standing Blackpink. Even though it is sad when people unstan groups, it's really not your choice, you know? Anyway guys, that will be it for this unpopular K-pop opinion video. Let me know your thoughts on these opinions in the comment section below and feel free to share your own. As always, thanks so much for watching and I hope you have a great day. Bye!